Welcome, dear friends, to Kardec Radio and the Spirit Society of Virginia in our inspirational talk. Today, we're going to talk about attachment and detachment, or attachments and detachments. And we have a special guest, our dear Angie Stewart. But before we bring her to us, we would like to begin this moment by attuning ourselves ever more with the higher spirits. After all, we're not alone. For those who have children, don't forget, if you go to our Facebook page, the Spiritist Society of Virginia's Facebook page Spiritist Virginia, your children may watch a beautiful lesson today, which is very dynamic, with Carol Correa and Daisy Gallen on the power of emotional body language. And while we are here talking our attachments and detachments, to help us attune more and more with the loving and kind spirits, here we are with our friend Paloma, who will read a message for us so we can get all the more inspired.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. We're going to read a message from the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life, psychographed by Chico by the Spirit Emmanuel. Chapter 13. What is the flesh? If we live in spirit, let us also walk in spirit. Paul. When talking about spirituality, people often complain about the demands of the flesh. It is true that the apostles often spoke about the lusts of the flesh, its criminal impulses, and its noxious desires. We too often feel the need to use symbols in order to make the lessons of the gospel more accessible. The Master himself said that the spirit, as the divine element, is strong, but the flesh, as its human expression, is weak. But what is the flesh, after all? Each spiritual personality has a fluidic body. Have you never noticed that flesh is composed of condensed fluids? Of course, when these fluids combine, they obey the imperatives of life on earth. You have designed this process as the law of heredity. However, this combining process is passive and is not self-determining. We may portray it as an earthly home where the spirit is in command, a dwelling which will take on the good or bad characteristics of its owner. Whenever we speak about the sins of the flesh, we might translate this expression as entailing the wrongs caused by the unevolved condition of the spiritual human being on the planet. Undignified desires, depressing impulses, ingratitude, bad faith, and the marks of betrayal are never the result of the flesh per se. It is essential that people understand the need for self-control and that they awaken their faculties of self-discipline and renewal in Jesus Christ. One of the biggest absurdities that some disciples commit is to attribute responsibility for humankind's crimes and errors to the mass of passive cells that serve the human being, when we know that everything proceeds from the spirit.
Thank you, Paloma. And talking about that, let us then raise our thoughts to our protecting spirits, who in the name of God are ready to help us out. Let us feel the presence of God inside and around us, raising our thoughts in high vibrations. I'm going to play some music here, and we can attune ever more inspired. Let us raise our thoughts to our loving Creator. Thank you, God, for the wonders of life, for the majestic nature you've created. including ourselves, and the beauty of life that we discover day after day. Tonight, we especially express gratitude for the power of friendship, as you grant us the opportunity of having our friend Angie Stewart with us. What a blessing, and especially as she prepared a study that we haven't had before. So important for us to cherish our reincarnation in greater quality. But we can't begin this moment without thinking of those who are suffering right now. And at a greater dimension than any of us. We pray for those who are in the hospitals, whether working or in need of help, in prisons. We visualize healing baskets being delivered to each one of them, renewing their hopes, renewing their strength. What a joy to know that you count on us to share what you have granted to us. You're a wonderful God. We're yet to understand fully everything about life, but we rejoice for the little that we know. And may these moments be deeply healing for us, empowering us to be better co-creators. May everyone in our homes, in the incarnate and discarnate realm, feel your loving presence and your unconditional love. May you inspire our dear Angie Stewart as she leads us into new understanding about life. May we stay under your guidance, feeling your protection as you grant us the permission to begin our session tonight. And so be it. Friends, as we prepare to receive Angie Stewart amongst us, we want to start tonight just as preparation. We're going to begin a moment that we call the Spirit's Book Moment. Right, Paloma? And
That's right.
yeah. You were there. I thought I didn't hear
Good.
you. Sorry. So
Yes,
we
yes.
want to remind you why we're starting this. Recently at Kardec Radio at 11 p.m., we studied a message by Leopoldo Cirne, who was a renowned spiritist and still is in the spiritual realm. He mentioned to us that it's important to study Kardec's books. And we can't start this study without the Spirit's book. So today here, we're going to study one question before Angie Stewart starts the study of the night. Paloma, please.
Welcome, dear friends. If you don't have the Spirit's book, don't waste time. Go get yours. There's the PDF online. It is super important. There's 1,019 questions that Kardec so thoughtfully asked the spirits and brought to us in this. The book is so well organized. Today, we're going to start on part 3 of the book. And the question that we extracted is this: which is the most meritorious of all the virtues? So Kardec, he's asking so many questions. He wants to know, okay, they're good spirits, they're less evolved spirits. How do we progress? Okay, we got to develop our virtues. So which is the virtue? He wants to know. So do we, right? We want to know too, so we can approach life a little bit different, maybe progress faster. And this is what the good spirit says. They told him, all virtues are meritorious because all are signs of progress on the path of the good. There's always virtue when there is voluntary resistance to the allure of evil tendencies. So let us stop on this first paragraph and we'll finalize it. And there are many words here that we need to think about. So voluntary meaning we need to take action, right? It's not being imposed on us. We have free will. We make decisions. It is our choice, and that's why it's voluntary to resist to this evil tendencies, meaning, something that it's not the right path. You need to make an effort. It's a little bit hard. That's why it's resistance. When we do that and we're trying and we're working on it, that's working on towards the path of the good. But is that sufficient? Do we want to know the virtue, right? So they're going to tell us. So they go and say, however, the highest virtue consists in the sacrifice of one's own interests for the good of one's neighbor without ulterior motives. The greatest merit is that which is based on the most disinterested charity. So if we want to work on the highest virtue, the good spirits told us, we don't have to think about it. We don't have to be, meditating on it. They told us it's when we give of ourselves from deep, deep in our hearts without any expectations, no expectations, nothing. It's only giving. You're not going to get, maybe not even a smile back. And that's okay because we're giving from our hearts. So let us take the teachings that the good spirits brought to us today. Let us work on this beautiful virtue. Let us practice charity from our hearts. And hopefully we're going to be progressing in this journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Paloma. What a joy, friends. What a joy. You see how the Spirit's book is up to date. It's a book that was compiling the information from the spirits. By the way, watch the movie Kardec. It's on Netflix and maybe other venues, but watch it to see how it came about. And you're going to see that the teachings there are immortal. They are not like, and we'll say this with respect, Vogue magazine. Today and tomorrow, fashion is gone. The Spirit's book has nothing to do with fashion. It's about the core of our beings, our immortality. You can read this book anywhere in this universe, and it's always fitting. So if we study this, you bet you're going to need it if you move to Jupiter, to Pluto, to any galaxy in this universe. It serves to all purposes, so we better study it while we're on Earth. Well, now we're going to invite our friend Angie is here. Yay! Celebrate!
Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Kardec Radio.
Oh my gosh, people know you, Angie. You're one of the hosts at Kardec Radio.
Yes.
Can't believe finally we made it to have you here with us at the Spiritus Side of Virginia's.
Yes, I'm very happy. Thank you for the invitation. That's really
Thank
good.
you. But I'm going to tell people who don't know much about you. They know what you do here at Cardiac Radio, but they don't know. I'm going to say something that then they are probably surprised. She's a lawyer. Did you know it? It's a quiz. Did you know she's a lawyer? She's a lawyer. A good one, huh? You can tell she's a lawyer. She's a postgraduate in international business and finance by NYU. Yes, yes. You see how you can have all these degrees and still smile,
Yes,
right?
we have
And
to.
she always worked in finance. Mamma mia. God bless your heart, because that's hard. And she speaks several languages: English, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish. She came from a Catholic family. Discovered Spiritism in the year 2000. What a year, huh? Beautiful year. Wow. Due to the blossoming of her mediumship. And she dedicated herself to studying mediumship and disseminating it. And I remember in 2007 when she co-founded the Inner Enlightenment Spiritist Society. I remember. Bless are you. And she spent years coordinating studies and helping the activities for children, youth, the parents. For some time, she was also the main coordinator of the group and the head counselor of fraternal assistance, irradiation treatment, and the beautiful works of the nursing home. I remember you once were Carmen Miranda. I told our group,
Ah, yeah, anything. I
I
was
know
like,
anything. It's not only singing, it's the whole performance to cheer up the people who were in the greatest need. And in 2014, she created this project named Loving Bags for the Homeless in New York. And then she brought it also to Miami, where she is. She has been for the last, 2 years?
it will be 3 years now.
3 years, wow. And she founded in Miami the Miami
Inner light.
Inner Light, Spiritist Studies, and the Volunteers of Love Charity Group. She's also a practitioner of the group Conscious Living Spiritist Group in Miami. Wow, that's great. And finally, we bring you here,
Yes, yes.
right?
Not
Oh,
physically yet, but soon when things come
soon.
back to normal.
Yes, we're going to create a parent group named Shoo Away the Coronavirus so the children can go back to school in the fall. If you want to join us, let us know because we're going to pray every day.
Yes. I join.
Right? That's a group that is going to be popular in the world. All right. So now we are going to invite everybody to join Angie Stewart as she's going to lead us into this understanding that it's so important about attachments and detachments. And I see Claudia Garces. Claudia Garces is here. She's part of the Caravan of Love in Miami. How beautiful. Thank you for sharing that and welcome here. All right. How beautiful. So, Angie, yours is the word.
Very good. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Your words are so kind as usual. So let's go because we don't have much time, and I want to share this study with you guys. I hope you can see me and the screen. I am seeing my screen. Can you hear me? Good. I hope so. So as the first reading was very connected to attachment and detachment, and detachment is really, charity is the biggest detachment of all. When you really give something that you love so much and you give to someone, this is the real charity. It's not when you have a dress that don't fit you anymore and they're like, okay, I'm going to give and I'm going to be charitable. It's very different. So let's go over the slides. And the way I created this lecture was really collecting a bunch of stories So we can see through examples of other people what they did and what we could do. So how could we improve also? So hopefully I can tell all the stories. The first story is of this man that he was really an angry man, and he was attached to hatred, to anger. He was attached to all kinds of negative feelings, and for him was very difficult to connect with society. So he had all these difficulties with people, so he averted himself from being with people. So he enjoyed a lot being alone, and in his mind that was the best thing to do, to live alone. And one day he's walking, and he loved the night, because the nighttime there was nobody on the streets. So he's walking on the streets enjoying the moonlight, when suddenly a woman bumped onto him, and immediately his anger came out. And then he told her, really angry, saying, "What are you doing? Haven't you seen me here? How do you do this type of thing?" And the woman, very nervous, she immediately backs up and says, "I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I did not see you. I am blind." And he looked at her, and he couldn't believe, is she blind? She came from the shadow to the light, and he also was able to see her eyes, and he saw she was blind. At that moment, he felt really bad. He felt horrible, and he wanted to apologize. And he told her, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what I did and how I treated you. I really sincerely want to apologize." And she told her, "No, it's okay. Don't worry, don't worry." And he's like, "Please, would you give me 1 minute, just 1 minute? I live very close to here. Would you mind come with me so I can just play you a song? I'm a musician. Would you mind if you could come to my house and allow me to play one song for you to listen? And I would like to describe this beautiful night." And she was like, "No, no." But then he convinced her. She finally went to his house. He put her very close to the window. He opened the window, and there was this beautiful moonlight, shining everything, shining the city. And he started describing to her the beauty of the night. He described the moon as this silver light that shines the whole city, that was so dark and sad. When is the moonlight is so beautiful? And he was able to describe her the birds flying, the trees moving, the shadows of the houses. And the woman who had never seen anything because she was born blind, she started imagining all this beauty that he's describing and playing this magnificent song. And she cried. She cried, and she told him that she had never seen. But at that moment, she was able to see what he was describing. And he also cried, because he had detached himself from people. In his mind, every single person was bad. And every single person was happy, and he was the only one unhappy. But when he met this woman, he was able to see that he has eyes to see, and she never did. So he was happy to be able to provide her few moments of being able to see. So in that time, in that moment, he connected with love and compassion, and disconnected with his hatred and aversion to people. So this is Ludwig van Beethoven. So with this beautiful story and beautiful music, we have to stop the music, and we are going to start talking about what is attachment. So there are many different theories. I just took one, very simple. Attachment is a deep, enduring emotional bond that connects one person to another. And then I added sometimes one person to an object. across time and space. So this is from Ainsworth, 1973. So attachment is this need of a unilateral possession. This is mine. So we have this. Maybe you're thinking, no, I don't have it. We all have it, thank God, in different levels and to different things, but we can be attached to all those items. People, material things, situation, places, and times. And when we get attached to this in a negative way, in an exaggerated way, they imagine the relationships, people becomes jealousy. The wife that cannot go to the corner without the husband calling and knowing what are you doing, who are you talking to. Material things, people that really give so much attention to things, they cling to that. And we know through many mediumship meetings and also to mediums books that people can connect to things and they are not be able to evolve as they should. We know that sometimes people discarnate and they get attached to their home. So they remain there instead of evolving. Situations that were negative and we can't forgive and we keep thinking over and over and over instead of detaching from that, forgiving and evolving. Places, a beautiful place that you used to love, and then suddenly something bad happened and you connect that beautiful place to something bad. Or times, there are so many different times, and it will be always times that we will have some kind of negative thing, some suffering. But as Chico Xavier told us, everything passes, good things and bad things. So thank God, everything passes. And because of this, let's go to the law of preservation. We go straight to the Spirit's book, question 712. Why has God attached an attraction to enjoyment of material things? The Spirit's answer, to excitement, to accomplish of his mission. And next, to try him by temptation. So we get excited to do something, we want to do it, but we need balance. If we don't have a balance, we get too connected to it. And then we want more and more material things. And this is the danger. So these I just took portions of the answers because their answers are very long sometimes. 713. Has nature marked out the proper limits of corporeal satisfactions? Yes, yes. The limits that coincide with your needs and with your well-being. So these ladies here, they are buying so many toys, and we sincerely hope that they are buying too many kids, because nowadays we have this tendency of overbuying and buying and buying. And, we have one kid, two kids. They don't need 10, 20 things. They need one, two, like it used to be in our past. And then, oh, I see I see my cell phone here. It's strange. You guys can't see you can't see the presentation. Uh-oh, I don't know if you guys can see the presentation or not. It's very strange. Is it the slides are moving? It seems the slides are frozen. Oh, the slides are not moving. Strange. So let me put it this way here. Too bad. So at least can you see now? I hope you can see now. Okay, very good. So at least I saw this. Sorry for that. So I was exactly here. So in this portion here, I was talking about these ladies that are buying so much. And I just mentioned that we sincerely hope they are buying for many kids, not just for one kid only. Because nowadays in our society, especially here in the US, we have this tendency of buying so much. And instead of giving love, giving attention, giving dedication, we give things. And the things are never, never going to be able to replace the love of our mother and father. So in question 714, we have, what is to be of the man who seeks enhanced corporeal enjoyments by inventing artificial excesses? Excesses. And then the Spirit say, think of him as a poor wretch who is to be pitied rather than envied. So all these people that have excesses in anything, let's feel sorry for them. And most important thing, let's not become them. Let's understand that some people are still in this stage, but we evolved a little bit more, and we don't need to be like that. So we can improve. We can be better. And here we move on, and the first cartoon there is Tio Patinhas. In Portuguese, he is the uncle of Donald Duck, and he was millionaire. And he was really attached to his money. He used to swim in his money. When his nephew and one time even the nephew's kids had all kinds of difficulties to survive, but he never shared his money. It's my money. So this was a cartoon representing a reality of a lot of people. But then came our Master Jesus, and when he came, he already taught us one important prayer. Our Father. It's not my Father, it's our Father. So just praying that, just learning that prayer, we understand that God is our Mother, our Father. We are his kids, and we are all brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter if I am a white, beige, black, yellow, if I'm a spiritist, if I'm an atheist, it doesn't matter. We are brothers and sisters. And that's what Jesus wants us to understand. Even if sometimes, as we can see, it's still so difficult. But we will go through it. We will go through it. And this is what happened to us. We are me, my body, my parents, my family, my house, my. And everything is temporary. This body is temporary. It's going to die. Another angel will come in a much better version, like Benjamin Franklin said in his lapid, will come later on. And everything, we borrow. You know, our kids are borrowed from God. I am the mother in this lifetime, but he is not mine. He is a child of God. So we have to do our job. That's educate, to help him to progress. So we progress together. And there's so many other things that we have in our minds. And one thing that my husband made me see was that I live in the United States. My sister lives in Spain. And sometimes when we were on the phone talking about our parents who live in Brazil, we used to be on the phone like, oh, today I spoke with my mother. Have you talked to her? And then she used to answer, no, my mother didn't call me for a long time. And then I go and like, but my father, whatever. And then my husband finished, and my husband came and said, you were talking to your sister or to somebody else? I'm like, no, to my sister. And he was like, but the mother and father, I think it's only one for both of you, isn't it? You should say yours. You should say our. And then I had like this wake-up call, like, it's like crazy. I know it's just a silly little thing, but why me and her? We never said our mother. We always said my. So it's just like a crazy thing for us to think about. And we can think about many of these other items that sometimes we also have these attachments. And, you know, when it's something light is okay, but when we really attach, it's not good. It can be difficult. It can be sickly for us. We need to learn how to evolve, how to move on. And then I found this book. I actually found this book. And it's very small, very simple. It's not a spiritist book, but it talks about the energy, talks really about the beautiful things, like simple things in the house that we can do to make the energy to flow. And one thing that's very funny that she talks, and I related, was that she said some people have a closet full of clothes. And sometimes they want to go to a party and they say, oh, I have no clothes to go to the party. But why? Because you have things there that are stuck there for such a long time. And the months pass, sometimes years have passed. And you didn't use that. So nowadays, if I don't pass 1 year and I didn't use that, poof, it's gone. And I give to someone else. You know, there are so many places that you can donate things. You can even give to Salvation Army, but if you know someone that would make good use, so give it. So when we are removing things that are stuck in our home and we don't use, we are creating space, we are creating open air to good vibrations, and you are also helping other people. So this is very good. You do this recycling energy. I'm not talking about the charity here, because as we mentioned in the beginning, real charity is when someone needs something and you give that thing that the person needs, not that you want to get rid of something. That's very different. Even if it's indirectly, it could be some kind of charity, but this is not the real charity. So this book is really nice. Now I'm going to show you quickly these amazing examples of people that touched my life in many different levels. We don't have time to go through every single one. You can read a little bit about it, but there are 4 examples just in this slide that we should talk a little bit. For example, Gandhi, he was able to free his country and his people in a peaceful way. He organized thousands of people to march in peace, resisting violence. Many times he also went on hunger weeks, not days, weeks, because he was trying to get India free from the United Kingdom. And then he finally was able to get it. We also have Martin Luther King in 1964. So you see, it's not such a long time ago. In 1964, the situation in America was very, very difficult, much more difficult than now. And Martin Luther King always had these beautiful words, these beautiful speeches, telling everybody that we are brothers and sisters. We still couldn't understand it. But in that time, he already knew. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. We are all equal. We were born naked, we will die naked. So what matters is what is inside. So he had this beautiful example to help us to continue fighting against these inequalities, racism, but in a peaceful way. And then we have Nelson Mandela that also did the same thing. He spent 27 years in prison. When he left and he was elected to be president, everybody thought he was going to do a revolution because of what he lived. And he said, no, we are going to learn how to live in peace. We have Dalai Lama, who also, his country suffered so much with the invasion from China, but he has this loving soul, and his country is so peaceful, Tibet, and they continue resisting in a peaceful way. So these are examples of people. They are really, really detached from all these negative things, and they are so much more connected with love, with peace, with beautiful sentiments that sometimes is very hard for us to still understand. Put yourself in their shoes. Would you be able to do it? Maybe we could do something, but to be these amazing examples is not easy. But it doesn't matter. We all have different ages, and we will reach there. We will reach there. We will arrive in our adulthood, spiritually speaking. But we have to understand there are still children coming, spiritually speaking. So we need to develop our patience, our compassion, because one day we will be closer together. One day, not now, but everything that happens has a purpose. So we are evolving. We are evolving together. Even through pain, these painful things happen to, it's like a wake-up call, making us to see what was always there, but sometimes it was veiled and we didn't see it properly. So now we are understanding it better and we need to talk about it. So this is the beauty that we have in any kind of evolutionary process. There is always pain, and that's what we are going to talk about right now, the law of destruction. So when we talk about law of destruction, it's like it's so bad. Why did God do that? So we go to the Spirit's book again. Spirit's book is the source. We have to use it. It's beautiful. So in the question 728, is destruction a law of a nature? And then the Spirit's answer, for what you call destruction, it's only a transformation, the aim of which is the renewing and improving living beings. Of course, you see this picture and you say a tsunami is something good, is a good transformation. We are not God. That's why we cannot understand it fully right now. But you have to think that God sees the picture much broader. We only see this. We see a head. God sees above, looking down. So all this destruction happened for a reason. There is a reason that we do not understand. Maybe the people that were living there, they had to progress. Maybe what they were doing were not very good and they were not going to change. And we continue. We continue to 737. Kardec goes, what is the aim of God in visiting mankind with destructive calamities? That's what we think, destructive calamities. The spirits answer, to make man advance more quickly. So the spirits, they tell us, if this hadn't happened, you would take centuries to evolve. When a calamity happens, we are able to stop looking like this, because we have this tendency, and we look to the sides. When we look to the sides, we are able to see that I have a neighbor that is going through a difficult situation. So I maybe should offer myself to help. I see here, there is a friend of a friend who is going through terrible things. So maybe I should offer my help. And of course, there will be people that will help you too. So through these difficult times, we change in a faster way. And if it didn't happen, if it hadn't happened, we would continue sitting down in our chairs, changing the channels, living in the same way. So the last question, in what way can Spiritism contribute to progress? By destroying materialism. Destroying materialism. Yes, materialism in many aspects. And one of the aspects is imagining this is the only life. Imagine, oh, I have to do all these crazy things because we only live once. I love to tell people, no, honey, I'm so sorry, but you don't need to believe it. I know you will come back. You will come back many times. Even if you want to believe or you don't, when you arrive on the other side, you will understand. So whenever people are able to open up their minds and understand, after this lifetime, you will come back again and again and again, things will start changing. And the other portion is important for the moment we're living right now. By destroying the prejudices of sects, castes, and colors. As I mentioned before, we are all brothers and sisters. But yes, the society imposes certain things, and then we start looking at others different. Yes, maybe because of the color, but also many times in the past, especially because of religion. Nowadays, because of politics, we have seen so many friends that had different political views, and from being best friends, now they hate each other. So, you know, what we're talking about is not just about the racism of color, but it's so much broader. And we sometimes we don't see it. So that's the things that we have to learn how to detach. We have to detach from all this negativity, from all these negative things, and connect with love, with charity, with forgiveness. And I want to give you 3 stories. Too bad my slides are not working, so you cannot have the aha moment. But this, as you can see, is a story of a monk that was extremely detached. He was accused of being a father of a baby that he never even touched a woman, but he did not fight it. He accepted the baby, and he took care of it. He changed his routine of meditation to feed, clean the baby. But then with the time when the real father appeared and went to the family returned and said, "Give us the baby." And he had no problem. He gave the baby. How many of us would be able to be in that level of detachment? When he was first accused, he never went publicly to the city to tell everybody, "I never even touched this woman. I can't be the father." But no, he understood, if this is happening to me, I have to accept and go through it and see what the Lord has to me. So this is one story. The second one is very famous, is Socrates, our wonderful brother Socrates, who has the whole introduction in the Gospel according to Spiritism that talks a lot about Socrates and Plato, about their doctrine and how much it is connected to Spiritism. If you hadn't the opportunity to read, please go there. You're going to be mesmerized. So Socrates was a man ahead of his time. His ideas were unbelievable. And he was a teacher. He was a teacher for the youth. So he was teaching the youth about many different items, and not really exactly how was the society of that time. So the important people from the society, from the government, start seeing him as no good, persona non grata. So they started like, this is not good. He's influencing our children. They are going to be changing because of him. So with his philosophy, his ways of thinking, people really got angry. There is a long story. And then he was accused of being corrupting the youth and impiety to the state. And they finally sentenced him to death. So he had to drink cicuta and die. But he was very famous and very loved, very much loved. People paid the guards so he would be able to escape in the silence of the night, to run away and not die. But Socrates said, no, I can't accept it, because nothing is going to change in me. I'm not going to change. Socrates will be Socrates wherever he goes. So I have to be here. I have to face it. And then he says this funny answer to the 500 judges that accused him of so many things. He tells them, "Noble Athenians, I'm very sorry for you. Socrates will soon be with the gods, the diamonds. But you will stay here, suffering with other mortals. However, I have even worse news. You will be without the thoughts of Socrates." So Socrates was detached of all these issues, all these problems. He was detached even from when the Oracle of Delphi told him, "You are the wisest man that ever existed in Greece." He was like, no, honey, I'm not. I'm going to find who he is, but I'm not the one. And he was not attached also to the sentiment, the feeling of being afraid of dying, because we all are afraid of death. Even if we believe so much there is life after this physical body, we don't want to go. We're like, okay, like Divaldo Franco, he always says he's 93 years old nowadays. And he even say, if you can wait a little bit more, it's good. I'm doing fine. So we are like that. But Socrates said, no, it's fine, no problem. You will kill this body, but I will wake up tomorrow in the other side and I will be in a much better way with people that understand me. So that's how he was already a man ahead of his time. So this is a beautiful detachment story. Then there is this funny one from Raul Teixeira, the very famous medium from Brazil. He was a professor in a university. His salary was not the best salary, so he was like fighting for better salaries. But then his spiritual guide came and told him, no, 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 stop everything, because in a past life you did not work, so in this life you will. And he was like, what, Camilo? And he said, yes, you don't know yet. But in this life, you were put in this condition because God is so good that allowed you to have a job and a salary. So be thankful for that. So he learned that he had to accept it and go through his life and not to fight anymore so the others can do it, but I have to be careful and take myself away from this. So these are usually the consequences in our physical body of our actions. So we were hurt by someone. Then we cannot forgive. We keep thinking about what the person did to me. And then I develop a guilty feeling. I hurted someone, and then I start rationalizing the error, thinking I only hurt him or her because they did this, this, and this, so they deserve it. So we rationalize again, but then we develop guilt. The third option, I did not help someone that was desperately in need of something. I saw something, but I walked away. So I start feeling remorse, remembering, why did I do that? I feel so terrible. A lot of people have this impetus of coming back and doing something. But if you don't, you develop guilty feelings. So this all happens in our mind. And you know that our mind will reflect in our physical body. So we need to fight it. We need to change it. We need to change our actions. So the reactions of our body will be better depending on what we do. We feel like stuck, without hope, or without the strength to continue our life. So this is the big danger. And then how we can detach. So there are so many ways that we can practice this. These are only 7 that I imagine can help us. You know, practicing living with less. As I mentioned in that book, you don't need 300 dresses. You are one person. Practicing focusing on what really matters. You know, what really matters in this time of pandemic, living in a house, we cannot get out. What can we do that's very important? You know, you have your family you love so much and you never spend time with them because you live far away. Why don't you take the opportunity now to do a video call? Call your mom, call your dad, call that sister or that brother that you don't have a great relationship, and just say, hi, I miss you. You know, there are things that we can do to change things, little things. You don't need to do something gigantic, but little things can change so much. Understanding we are all commit mistakes. We are no angels. We commit different mistakes. This is the important thing. We all commit different mistakes. So maybe I commit a mistake that Vanessa would never, ever have done that. But maybe she has something, it's a little thing that I wouldn't do and that she was tempted to do. So we are all different and we are evolving. That's the beautiful thing that the Spiritism teaches us, that we are constantly evolving. So if we fall down, don't worry, stand up, raise and walk ahead and see what you have to overcome and how you're going to do it. So we continue. Better yourself first. Don't point fingers. Like many times when we listen to a lecture, we say this lecture would be perfect for that person. No. If you are watching this lecture, it's perfect for you. So take this opportunity to focus in everything. Try to grasp everything you can improve from that. And yes, if it is so good, share with somebody else. But whatever you are doing at that moment is important for you. Think about yourself first, improve yourself. Then you can help the others. It's almost like when you're in the plane and they tell you, oh, if the mask of gas falls, put in your face first. Because if you go to help your child, when you're going to put in yourself, you're dead. So do that. Help yourself, and then you can help others. Donate yourself, practice charity. I don't even need to tell you, this is the most important thing ever. When we are practicing charity, we are able to see that my life is here, but we see around ourselves. We see that we have problems, but there are other people with many other problems. Exactly like in the beginning of the lecture, when he was able to see that the woman was blind. And he thought he was the most unhappy man in the world, but he actually saw there was somebody else with problems bigger than what he had. And that's what charity makes us to see the other, to understand the problems exist, but we can always overcome. And when we help others, we focus on the others. We don't focus in the problems we have. So with this, we are able to evolve. Remember, everything is temporary. As Chico Xavier said, everything passes. The good things and the bad things, they all pass. And love. If we learn how to love one another, this will be amazing. But love, really, I'm not talking about love, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm talking about the universal love. And this video is a very short video, but this is a video of a man that really knew what was love. And he really detached himself of anything negative. This is one of the most amazing men, in my opinion, for what he did. So he started this when he was just 28 years old. And with this, I will end the lecture. Let's just enjoy it.
There are some stories which we're not only an audience to, but may become their participants. Mickey's story came out by accident after this scrapbook surfaced after gathering dust for decades. Once it did though, it set about a whole chain of incredible events. That's me before I left for England. But until 1988, I had no idea who had rescued me from all but certain death. It was this old man who had saved my life and that of...
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did this.
There are some stories which we're not only an audience to, but may become their participants.
Let's go back, so sorry.
Mickey's story came out by accident after this scrapbook surfaced after gathering dust for decades. Once it did though, it set about a whole chain of incredible events. That's me before I left for England. But until 1988, I had no idea who had rescued me from all but certain death. It was this old man who had saved my life and that of hundreds of others in the Second World War. Yet for 50 years, we knew nothing about him.
4 children. This is his scrapbook. There are all kinds of fascinating pictures in it. Perhaps you can see, this is a picture of Nicholas Winton himself with one of the children he rescued. If you look at the very back of this scrapbook, fascinating things in it, all the letters. But back here is the list of all the children. This is Vera Diamant, now Vera Gissing. We did find her name on his list. Vera Gissing is with us here tonight. Hello, Vera. And I should tell you that you are actually sitting next to Nicholas Winton. I wore this around my neck, and this is the actual pass that we were given to come to England, and another of the children that you saved. Can I ask, is there anyone in our audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton? If so, could you stand up, please?
Everybody has to learn to live with everybody else, regardless of creed or religion.
I never thought what I did 70 years ago was going to have such a big impact as apparently it has. And if it has now got a story which helps people to live for the future, well, that will be an added bonus.
So my friends, as you can see, this man, he was really detached from any kind of negativity. And he did this amazing thing. He saved thousands of lives of Jewish kids, bringing them to mainly to the UK. And he never mentioned this to his own wife. She only discovered this many, many, many years later. So this is a beautiful example for us to imagine if something this had happened to us, if we could do something similar to that. So if we can't save thousands of kids, let's try to save one. Let's do something for one person that we can help. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I cannot hear you, Vanessa. But
I know. The microphone. All right. So it's so moving to see the story. It's a big reminder for us. It's a big reminder of the choices we make and how we can really think of the general good first, right? As you said, without judgment, because we don't know what people really go through in their lives, but we need to help out those who are in the greatest needs, which is so evident. Thank you. I don't know if people have questions, but I'm going to bring Paloma and Luciana before we do the passes, just so we wrap up with a little bit of the highlight that I think it's good if Paloma and Luciana bring their highlights that they want to emphasize about the lecture that you gave, Angie. Paloma, would you like to share something?
Yeah, I mean, if we had to say that, the good spirits know why we picked the message in the spirits book, it wasn't planned at all, my friends. If you believe us, not by us, right? It was
Yeah.
planned by the good spirits, to really reinforce to us the importance of detachment, charity being, the effort of altruism, dedicating your time to others without anything back is the way forward for us. And I was very touched by the video, Angie. So thank you so much. Because in times that we are tried, when things are good, we tend to be good, right? The question is, how would we react when we are in difficult times? Would we, we're hungry. Would we get a piece of bread and share? That's the question. And we see this amazing, amazing people that have been living with us in our current time. And it's very inspirational for us to continue on the path of the good. So thank you. I got very emotive with that video, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Paloma. Luciana.
Yeah, I want to say thank you, Angie, for sharing, bringing this spiritual book with other philosopher that it comes about to bring all the good, right, about spiritism, about life, and especially that we're living through this pandemic. Is very important when you mentioned that now that we are going through difficult times, we are able to take the look just straight ahead and see the neighbors around us. So it's so beautiful and very touchy when you said that we can look around now and see my neighbor that is in need and how can I help them. And again, like the good spirits always know ahead. They are looking for above. Jesus is looking from the top, and they know everything that is happening. Is even we see today in our study group with everybody, they plan everything, and everything just fit perfectly together. So we just need to be good in our virtuals, putting the charity hat away, and start helping people, and learn how to detach, because we really do not need a lot of things. We just need to be more simple in our lives. And the pandemic just came and brought to us this beautiful reminder that what is very important to us, our priorities is now changed again. So it's very interesting, this talking and everything.
Yes, and it goes hand in hand tomorrow for those who are watching us and are here, local, Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia area. Remember, we are going to be at the SSVA parking lot like we did last Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Of course, everybody, masks, gloves, everything. You come, you'll see there'll be signs where you can stand. We're going to make sure that we have measured 6 feet apart, but we're going to see each other. You bring your donations. It's the food drive, because there are people who are in greater need than ourselves. We have contacted several organizations that we have worked with for several years, and the Spirit Side of Virginia is extending a hand to them to help those who come. Shelters, people who are in prisons, people who are in receiving donations from food pantry locally. You bring your items. It's hygiene items and food. You can go to the website ssvirginia.org to know more about it, or send us an email. Even at cardiacradio@gmail.com, we're going to give you awards from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the treat, what is it? You come, we hug from a distance, but we pray together. You're not going to leave without a prayer. and receiving a bottle of water. So we can cherish this moment together, spiritually speaking, as well, under the rays of sunlight. We don't have an avocado tree, but we have beautiful pine trees around that are going to be our way of receiving this beautiful spiritual food as well. Okay, friends? So we want to thank time and again. Thank you, Angie. This is just a treat for us. One day we'll see you here in person, right?
Yes, yes, for sure. Thank you so much. It was a
Crossing our
pleasure.
fingers very soon, sooner than later. So thank you again for this beautiful study, for the depth of it, for the extent of it all. And we hope this can inspire us to really walk the talk. Okay? Now we're going to wrap up with Luciana leading the passes, followed by the final prayer.
So, dear friends, let's close our eyes and soak in into this blessing and teachings that we learned today. Let us breathe in and out, feeling the good vibrations, feeling that we are loved and we are cared for. Let us take a journey on these detachments of our material goods, material and crystallized thoughts that we have. As we move forward in life, we let it go, everything that is not necessary for our spiritual life. The doctors, nurses are here guiding us and helping us to detach of unnecessary connections. We feel lighter. Even the air is lighter as we climb the mountain of self-knowledge. We are on the way to meet with our Master Jesus. He is there, shining like a sunlight, waiting for us as we climb this mountain and let it go of everything that is holding us down. We feel the higher connection with Jesus as we keep progressing, as we keep searching for more knowledge of our origin as eternal spirits. And we feel even more His care and the trust that He has put into us. We feel that we are His children And as we receive this loving treatment, healing us, making us more aware of who we truly are, we receive the blessings of this spiritual treatment that permeate every inch of our spiritual body, coming through our physical body. And we irradiate this healing to everyone connected to us in our network, our family members, our friends, our co-workers, our beautiful community. We feel this love is spreading so much that it's enveloped the whole planet Earth. The whole planet is also receiving this treatment that our Master from above is pouring upon us. We are all immersed in His love, and we feel better and better. And as our planet is irradiating this light, our whole galaxy also receive the benefits of this healing. And we breathe in and out again. And we start to coming back to our homes, feeling lighter, feeling all the blessings that we received through these passes. We feel one with the Creator and detached of everything that holds us down. And with our hearts opened, we would like to pray together in one thought. Dear Mother, Father, God, mentors of the Kardec Radio, of the Spirit Society of Virginia, thank you so much for being here with us, nourishing our souls, and give us guidance to live better while reincarnated. We are so grateful for the time to being here, receiving these blessings among friends that are in many places. And if we may ask, we would like to pray for all of those that are in greater need than us, those that are not able to receive these teachings, and for that their souls starve. We pray for those, dear Father, that are living in a home that is not harmonious. May they receive sunlight and sun love, pacifying their homes and their hearts. We also want to pray for all of those that are thinking about suicide. May they see the sign and the blessings surround them, and that they are able to change their thoughts of suicide and start living better, and start feeling God's presence. We also want to pray for all of those that are sick. No matter what they're feeling, may they feel the treatment right now in the hospitals, in their home, on the streets. May they all receive loving treatment from our doctors and nurses. And dear Father, with your permission, knowing and trusting that you know everything that each one of us need, and as they're open to receive that, may they feel the blessings that you are providing in their lives. And with your permission, mentors, Master Jesus, dear God, we ask permission to close the meeting of tonight, and so be it.
So we want to thank Angie, we want to thank Paloma and Luciana for joining us, and I want to thank all of you for being here with us. If you have any question or any particular need that regards, that's something that we can help, write to us at cardiacradio@gmail.com, and we will reply to you, extending our hand. And if you want to help in the food drive tomorrow, come on over here at the Spirit Society of Virginia. Thank you, friends, and until next time.